you're not liking what you're doing, do something else as a seller. We have to be better for our people in 2021 than we ever have been before. And you have to commit to it. So, I think we talked early in this recording about what I'm going to reflect on and what we're going to reflect on. If you're not happy in sales right now, take some time to reflect on that, because we need to be better advocates now than we ever have been. That's what I'm going to think about. I mean, I already know I love what I'm doing, but I think that's something important for people in our positions to do. What I was saying is those unseen hours. I think, how many emails did we go back and forth on about this conversation? Maybe 5, 6. We didn't have to do this. I had fires this morning. You have things going on, but we took the time because we both want to be better. And I don't think this is a hustle stat. It's easy to sit in your pajamas right now and watch the news, and I could have gone for a walk or done something like that, but this was important to me. And I think that as salespeople, we need to prioritize what's important to us and be a little bit selfish, get those things done, because at the end of the day, that's going to make us better for us, our families, and our customers too.
Love it. There's a reason that people are in sales, right? I mean, lots of them. The money can be
best job ever.
Right. And the relationships can be very fulfilling, and everything that you do could and should be an investment. And you got to look at what's missing. I think to really sum up what you just said, and especially as we turn the corner at the end of a year, we look to a new year, what's missing, in your career, and start to look at where are those gaps. If you're not liking what you're doing, why? Are you not connecting meaningfully with folks? Do you just not feel like you have a career path? I mean, there's activities that you can take in each of those. And that's why I think you need to spend the concerted time to look at that and say, okay, if I'm not where I want to be, then those are conversations that I need to be having with my boss. I need to be creating relationships in my own organization with other people that might be able to get me where I want to go, if that's feasible. And if it's not, then it's looking somewhere else and creating relationships there. I mean, you have the entire world at your fingertips. If 2020 did anything, it made all the world at your fingertips. I talk to people all over the world almost every day. And it's because of this, everything now is virtual. So these meetings are so easy to set up. I don't have to arrange to have folks flown in from all over the country or all over the world to have to converge on a meeting. And so it makes things so easy in order to set those types of things up. And so I would really encourage people, like you said, let's look at these last few days of the year. Let's look into the new year. What do you feel like you're missing? There's definitely been, it's a pendulum swing, right? I mean, because there's always going to be times where we don't feel completely fulfilled. And then there's other times where we look at things and we're like, man, everything's great. And yes. It's always the back and forth. And if you're closer to this side of things right now, you've got to look at where the gaps are, and you've got to put a process in place to tackle all those things. Don't just keep going through the motions, because nobody wins in those situations. I mean, clients aren't winning. You're not winning.
Right.
You're upset. You're going to take that into your personal life. You've got to really take a hard look. And this type of year gives us a built-in opportunity. It's a gift to be able to really reflect on where we've been, where we want to go, and look at where you're at and create relationships that will get you where you want to go. And even if you don't know what that looks like, relationships matter. I look at every role that I've had over the last decade, and it's been people that pulled me into roles because of relationships that I had created, right, results that I had had in those roles. And I never knew exactly where I was going to go. In my younger years, I always knew, like, oh yeah, this is what my next role is going to be, and this is what I want my next role to be. I just want to keep getting promoted. Well, I've benefited a lot more from investing in relationships of everybody that surrounds me. And then when stuff opens up, they pull you in. And I think that's where, and again, if you're short-sighted about your career, I would encourage you to look at the very big picture that it is a relationship game. Your chances of getting a job that you apply to on a board might be 1 in 1,000, but if you create a strong relationship with somebody and those people move up, like you said, those people get promoted, those people may go to other organizations. That is where if you create a strong enough relationship, they're going to want to work with you. and they're going to pluck you up and say, hey, do you want to come work in this and do this? And that's where these opportunities open up. So I really take a strong look at what you're doing. If you're not happy, and if you are, obviously, thank your lucky stars and pray hard. But I think it's definitely been an eye-opening year, and I couldn't agree with you more. If you're not happy, then take a hard look at why and put a process in place to tackle the gaps in your life.
Well, I don't think, going back to talking to your company about if you're not happy, no one's going to advocate for you. You're going to have to advocate for yourself. If 2020 taught you anything, again, it's okay to be a little selfish. I think when people go to ask for a raise or something like that, they get nervous. They don't know what to say. They feel they're maybe not doing enough. But if you're confident in what you're doing for you, your customers, it's okay. And I'm telling people it's okay to advocate for yourself to your company. Yep. Because if they respect the hustle and they respect the grind and they know what you're doing and you're going to keep doing to benefit them, they're going to be okay with it, and it's going to be a great conversation, and it's going to be a great learning moment for you. And I think that you have to let them know as well. Listen, if this happens, if I'm able to get promoted or get the compensation I asked for, get the peer mentoring situation I want, I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to keep going. I don't want you to think that just because you said yes to this and you're going to let me do this and you're going to let me move here, that's going to stop what I'm doing. You have to make a conscious effort to let them know and make sure you're disciplined enough to continue moving on that path, being a steward for that company and investing in that company for years to come.
You're the best product and solution that you have to offer. And, we talked about that when you're talking to a customer. That's your differentiating factor. You bring yourself. You're the difference maker. So if you can do it differently and better, be responsive, be communicative, that makes all the difference in the world. But especially when you're working in your own organization or when you're creating a brand that you ultimately want to be able to pitch to other organizations, you got to be very mindful of that. What sets you apart? Because there are, if 1,000 people apply to a job, what's going to make you rise to the top? How are you different? It's, there's different components. There's educational components, there's results, but there's a big X factor. And that's your personality. That's that ability, the charisma, the confidence, that ability to put your best foot forward. I keep a journal, and I basically all of my activities, results, conversations that I'm having, times I mentored people, times I was asked to do a special project, I presented, I did this or that. And it helps me immensely because, we live in a day and age now where you have a hand pretty much in your appraisal. I mean, you're asked to kind of fill out, what did I do? Or you're able to give input on an appraisal. And so to be able to do that, or to be able to sell yourself for a promotion or to sell yourself for a raise, it's phenomenal to be able to go back and say, these are the activities that set me apart. This is where I invested in this organization. These are the reasons why I would be perfect for this role, this raise. These are the reasons why you should invest in me more. And this is what I'm going to do with it. I mean, it's basically exactly what you just said. It's a storyline. I've done this. I've invested here. These are the dividends that it had for the company. I want you to invest more in me, and this is what I'm going to give. And based on my track record, that I'm serious because I have been a very diligent steward of this business.